Alright, game fans, here we go. We're going to go ahead and get this taken care of. This is actually going to be Team IG versus DG, or DFG rather. So on Team IG, we have the Wretched Egg, Tycho, Hectic Ninja, Hund, and I am Roxor. On the other team, we have Meteor. Cytondius, the Singing Crab, Zwitter, and My Alter Ego. So right now you guys are currently seeing a black screen. Let me go ahead and pull this up for the client, and here we go. I'm going to go ahead and let them know. Okay, not a problem. I can go ahead and get the mic volumes turned up a little bit, I believe. Go ahead and keep picking, guys. It'll just take a minute for me to go ahead and do my mic volume here. Alright guys, I'm just turning the mic volume up right now, so I am just waiting here for just a moment, trying to go ahead and get all of this sorted out. Let's see here. Alright, so let's go ahead. Alright guys, so here we go. They are going to go ahead and do the pick, and the bans are out. The bans for DFG are Fizz, Vayne, and Zed. For the other team are Ari, Elise, and Thresh. Fizz is a very powerful champion. He has just a ton of burst. He can, if he gets rolling, you really aren't going to stop him. Zed as well is the same champion. He has a lot of range, a lot of power. Vayne just can absolutely demolish teams. Once she gets going, especially with how much power she can go ahead and she can generate. Ari is my personal favorite champion for a couple of reasons. One is the fact that she is a fox girl, and she's just, you can chase her on the map all you want and almost never catch her, unless you have some really good gap closers. For Team IG, their first pick is Jinx. I've just been recently running around with Jinx. Extremely powerful champion. It's going to be interesting to see how Wretched A goes ahead and uses her. Oh, and on the other team, Meteor picks Vi. This is going to be a wonderful little matchup, Jinx versus Vi. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. Vi is one of my favorite jungle champions. Go ahead, just start running through and just going pew pew and just smashing people. Oh, and we have Caitlyn. So we have the two Piltover Enforcers versus the one that they can hardly ever catch. So this is going to go really, really well. I'm really interested to see how this is going to play out. There's a lot of other champions that you don't see banned, when you're doing the normal Summoners ranked. So with this, it is now the pick of IG Tycho and Hectic Ninja. IG Tycho is going to go with Lee Sin. Lee Sin's an extremely powerful pick, especially against Vi and Caitlyn. Lee Sin can go ahead and close the gap incredibly quickly on Caitlyn. Once he goes ahead and he does his QQ. Yeah, QQ. Okay. We all get the joke. And Zyra, going for a lot of the crowd control with that. Zyra with the knockup and also with her plants can just make everything incredibly deadly. One of her main abilities is when she can root you, summon 2 plants and then do an ultimate. You're not getting away. It's also a great way to go ahead and knock the entire enemy team up. If they're all combined really close, Jinx's ultimate can go ahead and just decimate everybody. This is going to be an interesting team composition. Now the Singing Crab in Zwitter is actually looking forward to picking. They have 35 seconds. What are they going to go with? There's a lot of champions that are still currently out there. So we still have the AP mid support, and then we also have the top lane. Looks like that Nasus is going to go top. Very strong choice. And Lulu for support. Lulu's going to be able to limit Lee Sin and Jinx with her polymorph. It's going to be interesting to see what skin that they actually select. I like the dragon skin for Lulu, but I think her cupcake skin is just kind of creepy and more Halloween-y right now. Also, so the other team's picking with Hund and I'm Roxor. Looks like for mid they're going with Heimdinger, and they're going with Tyrant for a top. This is going to be something that's going to be really interesting. I'm not 100% sure how all this is going to play out with these two, but we will see how everything does. Oh, I take that back. He's going with Kassadin. Kassadin has a huge gap closing potential. If he just waits for Vi's ulti to end, he can go ahead and escape over walls. So this is going to be interesting. Caitlyn does have the range in order to go ahead and shut everybody down. Looks like Hund is going top with Rekatan. So it's going to be brother versus brother. This is a huge verse matchup. I've seen it go either way. Either Rekatan owns the lane or Nasus owns the lane. And for the other mid, it's going to be Diana. Both teams are extremely strong. You have Vi and Nas, which can build kind of tanky DPS-y. And then you also have Lee and Rekatan that can build tanky DPS-y. Lee is a royal pain to bring down. They don't have anybody that they really need to go ahead and worry about going invis or pulling a little invis trick for them. But for the AD matchup, you have it looks like Jinx and Zyra versus Caitlyn and Lulu. This will be incredibly interesting. Oh, and instead of going with their initial pick, they've gone ahead and gone Akali. Akali is also one of my favorite champions as well for the mid, just because I love her ninja ability, and you can get in, get out, and just absolutely decimate. So this is going to be really interesting to see what kind of skins that they go ahead and select for him as well. And we got some support for the singing crab. Wow, wow, wow. So we're going to see what's going to happen with the singing crab. We're going to see what's going to happen with his team. And hopefully this is going to go ahead and be a good match. I know a lot of people are used to playing Summoner's Rift where it's just really one-sided. I'm a little interested to know, which if I get the chance, I'll ask a couple of the players, IG Wretched A, why they actually banned Ahri. She is a controllable champion, though still. There's a lot that can be said about her abilities and her mobility, especially with her true damage going up against Vi and also Nasus. So let's see. This is, even though that I am spectating, it is going to go ahead and put me on a 3-minute delay, folks, just because they don't really want people to, like, with streaming and stuff like that, they don't want people to go ahead and, for the players, not that these players would do it, they're extremely high caliber players, would, like, watch the stream and go, oh, cool, I can see what they're doing, I can see where they are. By doing this, even though it's not necessarily a 100% live, you still can go ahead and do a lot of watching and a lot of matchmaking with it. So a lot of people, when they do want to go ahead and when they do want to watch games, it's typically going to be on a 3-minute delay. But I mean I like that, so you can't really get in and pop in and out and tell your friend, oh, they just laid a ward down there, but because by the time you tell your friend, the ward's already gone. So I mean there are people that would use this in order to cheat, which is kind of sad, but it's the world that we live in, right? IG without exhaust. I don't know. Oh, it looks like they did a swap. So, IG Wretched has Zyra and Hectic Ninja has Jinx. This is going to be incredibly interesting to see where they're going to be matched up for it. La la la, the delay. We're going to go ahead and continue spectating. And then it's going to be really interesting for the first opening few moments for a lot of the teams. Just this can actually tell whether or not a team is going to be able to be extremely powerful, if they're going to go ahead and be turned down, the momentum of the game. Great teams in the past, they can come back from a really bad momentum game. One of the major problems with coming back from a negative momentum to where like the other team starts up like 5 or 6 kills up front, it's a royal pain. And I've played those games, everybody else has played those games, and we really want to go ahead and just make sure that everybody is going to be happy with this. So I do actually have the stream up on on my other computer. So I am just waiting for a moment, so that way I can make sure that I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that everything's going to load properly, and then that way everybody can go ahead and enjoy the stream. So I don't want anybody to be left out. Sometimes it doesn't pick up the loading screen very quickly, but it looks like that we are currently in business. So it looks like that we have the Dragon Trainer Lulu, a regular Vi, Deep 1 Kassadin, regular Akali. I personally prefer Nurse Akali, but that's just me. Really quick, let me go ahead and break this down for some folks. For the folks that don't know, this little silver border that's right here that you can see on some of these guys, that means that they actually achieved, I think it was like 1,300 plus ELO last time around before the season reset. And it looks like Simodeus has not yet connected. So we're going to see if once they get into the game, if they end up starting a player down. I didn't receive any messages that they did. But let's go ahead and no, there's Caitlyn, and it's going to be Officer Caitlyn. I'm going to be so happy when the Officer Vi skin comes out. So let's go ahead and break down a little bit about what we're currently seeing. Rakatan has Flash and Ignite. That's going to be really useful for kills. Nasus has Ghost and also Teleport. Nasus is going to be able to go back quicker and also be able to buy and get additional items and not lose as much time as Rakatan. Rakatan, if he is going to go ahead and go buy, he needs to do it immediately after a kill. That's going to be one of the major problems that they're going to go ahead and that they're going to face in that matchup. Rakatan needs to be careful because Nasus has a ton of lifesteal. Both of their ultimates give them additional health, power, and AoE damage. Now let's go ahead and take Jinx versus Caitlyn. That's going to be an interesting matchup. Caitlyn's going to have the better advantage for the first part of the fight because she does have the range. She is going to be able to poke a little bit harder because even though that Lulu's still going to be there for support, Caitlyn can poke Jinx a little bit harder. She just needs to be careful of Zyra, and then she also needs to be mindful of Jinx's rocket launcher. So that's one thing. The two junglers, Lee and Vi, this can go either way. It all depends on who's going to be able to get the momentum. Basically, the mid is going to be incredibly hard once you actually have because you'll have Akali versus Kassadin. Akali can go ahead and close on Kassadin extremely quickly. Kassadin actually has a lot more burst than anybody else does. And he can kind of like ruin Akali's day. It does look like that the blue team's going to go ahead and do the potential red invade, which can hose Lee Sin, because Lee Sin will typically, or Vi will typically start, me as Vi, I start in the blue, just because I like the regeneration. They may be trying to steal the red, so we'll see where that goes. Akali is going to wind up for a very nasty surprise. Akali does have a ward. She throws a ward down, and the blue team is going to be thwarted. It looks like that they do actually see. It looks like that they do actually see the ward, and there's a pause timer that's going on that ended up happening with that. So it does look like the blue team is going to go ahead and is going to retreat. Let's see. Looks like Kassadin started off with his Q. and it's not going to let me move to any heroes while the game's paused. Yay, game paused! But it does look like that, I mean, this is going to be an interesting matchup. I was kind of thinking to myself how fun it would be to have Officer Caitlyn and Officer Vi versus Jinx and just watch them just double ulti and kill Jinx. Or if the double ulti just meant that Jinx is automatically dead. So we'll see. The beloved Sheriff of Piltover and with Vi. So we'll go ahead and we'll see kind of what's going on with all of that. Oh, okay, so it looks like that Meteor ended up DCing, so it looks like that they are back. Skins are awesome. I like skins quite a bit with this as well. I do know quite a bit about the game. For like high level and professional play, there's so many different builds that are currently out there that that are kind of crazy. So it does look like that everybody's going to go back to their lanes. Kassadin sees Akali. Looks like purple team might be coming in for an invade. Nope, Akali actually just went ahead and just placed another ward so that now they have a full vision of their jungle to see if any new ganks are coming. And it's great that you can go ahead, you can pause, so you don't wind up a man down and playing a nasty 4v5. So it looks like that Caitlyn and Lulu are going to be guarding, and it looks like that Lee's just going to go ahead and start red. Lee will typically start red. Just with that, it's some of the normal trends. Not 100% sure what Jinx is doing, but let's see, what did Jinx start out with? Jinx still has not yet selected her starting ability. Zyra selected her Grasping Roots, so it's going to give Lulu and Caitlyn a little bit of problem, especially if she lands those with a few others. Jinx still hasn't selected the starting ability. Kassadin did go ahead and select his Null Sphere. You have to be very careful with Akali because they did change her Twin Blades to where they're always active now, and then they scale a little differently. Then you have Nasus and Rakuten. Rakuten has to not let Nasus farm, or if Nasus comes in for a Q, he needs to be able to deal damage in order to go ahead and push that back. Lee Sin immediately goes over to the blue, and I don't know if he's going to give that to Kassadin or not, or if he's just going to go, nope, he just takes it himself. That will help him jungle a little bit quicker. Jinx has gone ahead and gotten her Zap. That's a really awesome ability. It does a ton of damage, and even though it is line of sight, it can go ahead and slow, but it does also reveal. And like I said, as you can see, I mean, Caitlyn has the range on Jinx right now. Jinx doesn't even have, she just got her rocket launcher, so that's going to give her a little bit more power with that right down there. And see right there that they can go ahead and they can trade, but again, if Caitlyn actually has her headshot up, Jinx is going to lose a lot of momentum. With that, Jinx ended up starting with the Doran's Blade, which is good. Light sustain there. Zyra actually has a biscuit cookie. Gotta love the biscuits. So the purple team actually has the ward right here in the bush. Sometimes this is great for the purple team. Other times sometimes you want to go ahead and put it up here. But when you're first starting out, right here is great, just because it's close and you typically don't want to go too far out. You just need to be careful if you put it up here. If the other team does drop a sight ward, they can go ahead and they can snipe that out. Oh, looks like they missed the action. Lee Sin came in, ganked Nasus. That's going to give Rakuten a huge advantage in order to prevent Nasus from farming. I don't know if is he going back? No. Yep, Rakuten is going back. Down here in the exchange, Jinx and Caitlyn are... Oh no, is Caitlyn going to die? Nope, looks like that Caitlyn will go ahead and will live. Lulu's trying to chase him down. Vi comes in from the jungle and picks up a double kill. That was totally epic with that. But it looks like that Zyra with her final breath kills both of them in order to still give the assist to Jinx. The gold, that is absolutely awesome. I love tournament play and high-end play. Looks like that Vi's coming through. Oh, she flashes, and she does pick up the kill on Kassadin. I don't know why I'm saying Caitlyn. Is she going to be able to get away? She is going to be able to get away. Lee does not have the cooldowns or the abilities to stop Vi. So Vi is just coming in and wrecking house. With that, so Vi helps the team pick up a total of 3 kills, even though it shows she's only killed 2 people herself. Caitlyn and Lulu, they have a kill and assist each, as well as a death. Let's go ahead and let's check up here with Nasus and Rekatan. They're still relatively even. Let's see. But if we go ahead and we face them off, looks like Nasus has about 1,000 gold. Yeah, so there's a 600 gold difference between those two, and that's going to be huge. With the bottom team, let's see, Jinx has 15, and let's see, Zyra has 31. And the bottom team's close, but there's about a 400 gold difference there, roughly. So the bottom team isn't really out of it. Kassadin might have lost a little bit of time to Akali. Let's see, he's got an assist, 13. So Kassadin's only about 100 gold behind. And now Kassadin has his, I'm going to breathe on you and spray you and smack you with my Void Sphere. As soon as he hits 6, Akali needs to play a little bit more defensively. Because just that burst damage is absolutely huge. Vi is still in the jungle, so his leave wards are down across the map. There is a sight ward that's right here, which is highly beneficial, which means that their jungler can come through here and wait, or Lee Sin can come down here in order to go ahead and pick up the kill. And with Jinx's mobility and power, it's easy for her to go ahead and pick Caitlyn off, but again, if Caitlyn can go ahead and stay back and just do pop shots at Jinx, she should be able to win the exchange. And Zyra scouts it out, and she sees Vi. Lulu is also low as well. Let's go ahead and check back up at the top. It looks like that just Rekatan just being a massive bully in lane. He does have a huge gold advantage, and Nasus is not going to be able to get his farm down. He only has a total of, well, he's gotten about 51 minion kills with that, so that's not too bad. It's plus 51. Vi's here, but she can't, it's just, trying to close the gap versus Jinx is not going to happen. Jinx lays down the choppers in order to go ahead and stop Vi from getting away with Lulu. Zyra did go ahead and throw out her thorns just so that they could pick up the 2 kills. Right now, it is 6-3, and blue team is ahead by a massive significant amount of gold. Nasus needs to be able to time his farms right just so he can get his Q up, and that's going to be incredibly hard. Baiting Rekatan into hitting him under the turret, Rekatan does take a hit straight to his face from the turret, and it looks like that they're pinging an MIA because they have no clue where Zyra is, and here's a 3-person gank underneath the turret. Kassadin comes in order to help gank. Nasus does blow his ultimate. He does manage to pick up the kill on Lee Sin. That is awesome. Here comes Vi. I don't know if she's going to be able to mop that up. No, there's Kassadin was low on mana. She's just a little too slow in order to mop that up. She is trying to push the turret back a little bit. It's a little risky to try and go into the bush in order to pick up a kill. I personally wouldn't do it just because, you know, you're one person, and if Kassadin was there, he blew a mana potion, or you know, some weird thing that he you know, could just jump out and just decimate you, just being a single target. Akali hasn't really wandered the map. But she's 0-2-1, so it's not too bad. But the gold difference now is in favor of Kassadin. The bottom lane is just absolutely decimating. Jinx with her minigun, Zyra with her 2 plants. Oh, and Jinx does manage to go ahead and pick up her zap. Akali needs to be incredibly careful because, again, Kassadin, all it's going to take is for Kassadin just to kind of just jump on her and she's done. With her Shroud, it does help significantly in order to go ahead and reduce the damage, but it's still, at a lot of times, it's still not going to be enough in order to prevent Kassadin from just bursting you down and just decimating you. I think Kassadin's probably one of my most feared champions in the game. I highly dislike his mobility, you know, when I'm facing him. And he has so much burst damage, it's not even funny, especially once he gets rolling. Akali's doing the typical poke. Oh, and that was an awesome shroud that she threw down in order to reduce Kassadin's damage. Rekatan is in the jungle. Looks like he tried to go ahead and take a couple of pot shots at Nasus. and he may just be and I forget the term, proxying, but it looks like that he's just really just trying to go ahead and get down the turret. Akali manages to pick Kassadin up for a kill. That's gonna reduce the gold advantage, or the gold disadvantage that she has. Zyra sacrifices herself, and Jinx does manage to pick up the kill down on Lulu. Again, going with, unfortunately, going up against Zyra with the root, it can make it incredibly hard to get away. You have to be on your game as soon as you see that root coming out. If you don't actually have your 100 caliber net, it can make it incredibly hard to deal with. It can just make it incredibly hard to go ahead and just deal with in order to get away. Lee Sin going there with the sight on Akali. That's an awesome blue team double kill with that right there. Akali, unfortunately, even though that she's in her shroud, Lee Sin with his Tempest and Cripple, as soon as he has sight, Akali's literally toast. Vi's trying to go ahead and save the middle, and down here down here you have Caitlyn, which is 1-3-1. You have Lulu, which is 1-2-2, versus a 2-1-2 Jinx, and then also a 3-2-2 Zyra. So down on the bottom is incredibly imbalanced for that. I do love how Jinx is swapping back and forth in order to for her rocket launcher and the AoE damage. Lee has been all over the map with that. Rakatan's in the jungle just picking up additional XP because Nasus is forced to stay at his the second turret here. And unfortunately, when these kind of games get going, it's kind of hard to keep that second turret, and if the jungler comes up, you lose a lot of, like I said, you lose a lot of momentum, and you end up being so far behind. Nasus only has a 47 creep score versus Rakatan's 100 creep score, and Rakatan has 2 additional kills on him. It's not a position that you want to be in, especially not as a Nasus, because you're so far behind now, not only in gold, items, and abilities, and you haven't been able to farm your Q, so you've lost a lot of power. Rakatan did exactly what he needed to do. In the middle, Kassadin is fighting Akali. Akali is continuing to buy just a ton of potions in order to deal with Kassadin. That is one way to, in order to go ahead and deal with that. She did get the Hex Tech Revolver. Kassadin actually started out with the Flask. And there's Zyra rooting Vi, which I don't think that they're going to chase. But this is a nice little exchange that's down here. As you can see, Jinx has a wide range. She was able to go ahead and do a lot of damage to Vi. The root pretty much almost sealed it. So if Lee had been there just a little bit quicker, not that he could have been, but if he had been there just a little bit quicker, they probably would have been able to pick up their entire team. So the momentum right now is in the favor of the blue team. What purple team needs to try and do is they really need to try and pick up the dragon in order to just make up for the gold difference. Vi is trying to pick up kills. She does not pick up any kills there. Lulu's there. And Akali does a great job in dodging, but I think that she almost overcommitted. She needs to be incredibly careful because there's the choppers in order to go ahead and buy them time. Akali takes a zap to the face, and she's incredibly low on health. And I think that with this, since they have the ward here, I would have pushed a little bit further for it, but if Lee was not so low on hit points, he could have actually gone and picked up the dragon. But Rakatan and Nasus are still fighting up top. Rakatan, as you can see, with this turret that's right here, it's incredibly low. Once that turret goes down, it can be extremely hard. Kassadin's chasing Vi down. Rakatan's there as well, and Vi's trying to get away. She does her Vault Breaker, and she's caught. I don't know. Are they going to be able to pick it up? Akali's there. Nasus has gone ulti. Akali just needs a few more hits. Come on, Nasus, you can do it. Just slow him down. Up, but nope, Kassadin gets away right over the wall. Akali is barely holding on thanks to Lulu's ultimate. Rekatan is going straight into Caitlyn. The one major problem with this is not only can he get away, but it doesn't look like he's going to. Caitlyn did a great job trying to kite him. Rekatan was not able to jump over the wall. Had he been able to do that, he probably would have been able to get away had he had gone this route. So that was a great exchange there that gives the purple team a little bit more momentum that they needed in order to get back. The dragon still is there. Zyra's throwing down another sight ward to make sure that there's nothing else. The other enemy team doesn't have a ward there. Jinx is just piling it on. I mean, her creep score right now is at 113. Rekatan's is at 125. And if we take a look, these two have basically have the entire other team's creep score, which is kind of bad. So Caitlyn and Lulu are just trying to farm, and Akali saved by a minion. She needs to thank the minion, going, "Thank you for taking the ball of light to the face for the damage." Again, she's staying underneath her turret. So, I mean, they're relatively even, but not necessarily in gold. Kassadin has almost 1,000 gold up on Akali. And the blue team does go ahead and they do pick up the dragon, and that's going to be absolutely huge. As you can see, the gold difference now is 7,000. It's going to be incredibly hard for the purple team in order to come back. And right here, that's what I was talking about with the knock-up with Zyra. That can help tremendously in order to slow team members down. For the enemy team, Kassadin comes in. By trying to save Akali, they managed to pick up a kill. I think I would have still kept running, but so they give 3 for 1. Not necessarily the best exchange out there. It is 17-7. The game has turned into a landslide, unfortunately. They're getting down the top turret. What purple team needs to do is they really need to go ahead and try and muster a lot of, kind of try and muster and try and focus them down. Right now, I think the main target would be to go ahead and try and get Jinx out of the fight. You have Kassadin and Lee, but unfortunately Zyra picked up a lot of steam, and she has a lot of items that she can work with. She has a lot of wards. They did manage to pick up the dragons as well. And so right now they're, Kassadin's getting blue. Everybody likes to give Cass blue, so he has tons of mana regen. It's going to be incredibly hard because they have a lot more CC, hard CC than blue team does than purple team. Because and it's really hard sometimes in order to go ahead and coordinate everything. Lulu would, if I had to guess, just try and polymorph, let Lee come in, let him go, okay, I'm Lee Sin, I'm going to kick you in the face. But let Lee come in and then just move out and polymorph Kassadin or polymorph Jinx just to get them out of the fight or to be able to go ahead and focus fire them down. Purple team does only have one top turret left. If Rekatan pushes it, the purple team's not really going to be able to defend it. At 18 minutes in, Akali is saved by an ulti, a shield, and I think another potion. But I build Akali a little different. I typically go Hex Tech, and then versus Kassadin, I get some type of MR. But lanes have broken, so because right now Jinx is firing so fast. What is her attack speed? Her attack speed right now is 1.6, and she has 3 stacks of revved up. They managed to pick up the kill on Caitlyn, and just with the momentum that they had, both Lee, Rekatan, they're able to just turret dive, and purple team can't do anything about it. Even with the turrets that are there, just the momentum that they picked up, that Rekatan picked up over Nasus. You can take a look at this. Rekatan has, twice the amount of CS that Nasus does, has twice the amount of kills, and there's no measuring the number of assists that he also has. with that. Like I said, the only hope for them right now is going to be if they can stay back, if they can pick them off in order to do that. I mean, they're 15 kills up, 13,000 gold. It's I don't want to say that it's kind of game over for DFG, but it looks like that may end up being the case with that. I mean, Vi was incredibly active. Unfortunately, as sometimes it happens, one lane, one or two lanes, or one lane starts snowballing, and then the other lanes get disheartened and go, oh crap, and everybody gets flustered. I know as a jungler I get flustered as well, especially when I can't be at all three lanes in order to continue to gank, in order to provide them that support. Rekatan's finally going back. Lee Sin's picking up the red. Zyra is just trying to clean up the minions here, so that way there's not they don't lose a tower, because right now they have 5 towers down to 0. You may be able to, at this point, I mean, it's kind of hard. You might be able to go ahead and backdoor if you can get a lot of vision in the jungle in order to see where they all are. Purple only has, let's see, I only see one ward, which is the sight ward that's right here. Caitlyn's trying to find a little bit more XP, but I mean, the purple team is also massively out-leveled too. Jinx is level 13 compared to a level 9 Caitlyn, and Caitlyn is caught out of position again. She can't get over the wall. She was caught by both Zyra, Jinx, and also Lee Sin. And again, it's because the blue team has a lot of vision, and they picked up way too much momentum at the start. And I mean, as you can see, I mean, Rekatan's freaking beefy. He's got 3,100 hit points in his ultimate form, and Lee Sin's just beefy overall. They're going to go ahead and they're going to get down this turret inhibitor, and they're probably going to call it a game. They might be able to hold off with 2 turrets here, but with super minions coming in, it's not, unfortunately, they're not going to be able to hold off for long. Eventually they will go down to a full super minion wave, even by just going back and forth. If the blue team even just did a split push for both the bottom turrets and also the top turret, it would pretty much spell disaster. Right now the purple team, they desperately need a turret. They need the dragon. The dragon goes down. Vi ends up getting caught out of position, but with her Vault Breaker she is able to get away. Jinx is chasing her down with as high of a level advantage that she has. She's probably going to be able to pick Vi up without a problem. Lulu's trying to come in order to save her. Vi flashes to safety. Jinx is right there. She's going to pick up Lulu. Lulu does go down. And like I said, unfortunately, I mean, you're a level 13 Jinx versus a level 9 Caitlyn and a level 10 Vi. It's not going to be highly advantageous. Zyra does her ulti, knocks them up. Both Ness and Caitlyn is able to save Jinx. Jinx is able to get back to a safe position, and she's just now going to be able to push. The top turret only took about 500 points of damage, and then just from right here, they're just going to be able to push these 2 turrets down. Again, like I said, once the super minions start coming in, it's basically going to start spelling doom unless you can keep those pushed. Cassidy gets a little too greedy, and he is shut down. Ockley shoots him though in order to pick up the kill. Vi is trying to pick up the kill on Jinx, but unfortunately her Vault Breaker is just a little short. Jinx has the momentum. She is not able to bring Vi down. Lulu flashes safely to the base. Rekatan is right underneath the turret. It's 4 versus 1. I don't think that Nasus is going to be able to hold. Nope. Nasus does go down, and Jinx is just decimating. Oh, and Jinx takes a turret hit to the face, and it's one of the really big turret hits. They're trying to push him back, but like I said, the level difference right now is not even fair. And oh, quadra kill. Is Akali going to give Jinx the penta? No. Akali's going to play it safe, so she is going to go ahead and go from there. So It's working out, and this is going to go ahead and be game over. So Team IG does win against Team DFC, and that is it was a good game. Like I said, just one team ended up grabbing a lot more momentum over the other team, and I do believe that we are going to go ahead and yeah, I do believe that we are going to go ahead and do the next game tomorrow at noon. That's Mountain Standard Time. So hope you guys all enjoyed this. Take care. Have a wonderful day. I'm going to go ahead and leave the stream up a little bit so everybody can go ahead and kind of see the final stats. And I will be right back. Alright guys, so an overall breakdown, and we'll go ahead and do kind of an overall stats breakdown of this for you. Let's see. The overall stats breakdown for everything is that Jinx, she did pick up a couple of Doran's Blades. Going into the Bloodthirster gave her just a ton of sustain. Picking up the Phantom Dancer just allowed her with the Q ability in order to go ahead and just pick up a massive speed boost. You have to bring Jinx down. There is no other way in order to go ahead and do that. And then with the Berserker Greaves, again, you do get the movement speed and the attack speed boost. Lee Sin, I'm not 100% sure why. With the boots of mobility through the jungle, yeah, it gives you a ton of mobility. Through those, I probably would have been more towards Ninja Tabby, but that's just me. As Lee Sin for the jungler. Lee Sin did get the Locket of the Iron Solari and the Ruby Sightstone in order to go ahead and give the team a little bit more vision on the map. Rekatan ended up picking up the Black Cleaver, which is absolutely awesome. The armor penetration just eliminates armor. And Rekatan he built beefy. He built to be the tank. He built to just be able to jump in there and just roar and go, hi, I'm just going to eat you all. And then also, Kassadin, like I said, Kassadin ended up getting a really early jump on Akali. Kassadin was able just to go ahead and build all the items that he needed, Rod of Ages, his Seraph's Embrace, which is, once you actually do enough casts and get the 1,000 mana bonus, it will turn into Seraph's Embrace, gives you a little bit more of a shield, and then also the Needlessly Large Rod. The Hextech Gunblade is really good for Akali. One thing that, I like is you can go ahead with your single target abilities on the active cooldown. You can just keep constantly using it, but I don't know if I would have necessarily gone straight for that. I might have picked up like a large rod or something like that, just to give myself a little bit more of attack power. But again, when you're facing somebody that's 3-4 levels higher than you, you're not going to really take them down. It's going to take a team effort, and at that point, like, all of their champions ended up snowballing. Zyra was a key player with the 15 assists. Overall she was in on over 50% of the kills. Lulu did a really good job. Unfortunately, with the early deaths, it did give Jinx the ability to, get more items. Caitlyn, she went straight to the Bloodthirster. For me, it kind of depends on, for personally how I build Caitlyn, but you can see just the massive gold, difference between everything, through both, you can see the massive gold difference between, both teams. Jinx, twice the amount of gold that Caitlyn has, actually even more so, and, Nasus, only has half the gold that Rekatan had. It was a really interesting matchup, team versus team. The overall breakdown, it was going to be relatively even. I think Kassadin kind of tips the scales, again, versus Akali, and I think Akali spent way too much money on potions in order to kind of stay in there. Akali did kind of have the final pick. I might have gone with somebody a little bit more beefy, maybe AP wise, maybe a Viger, maybe, maybe a few other, maybe a few other, different options. They banned one of the champions that I love, which was, Ari. Ari and Kassadin. It can be incredibly hard to deal with an Ari as Kassadin just because she does have the regeneration. If you do jump in on her, you're going to be taking damage if she can get the Foxfire off. And then if she gets a charm, you're screwed. But the Caitlyn and Vi, it was a good combo, but again, unfortunately, just the blue team they decimated. They picked up a lot of early kills very, very quickly. With that, and the blue team was a little bit more. I would probably say they had a little bit more of a synergy going than maybe the purple team. Just the reason why I say that is because the blue team has 62 assists versus the purple 9. The 62 is just under, is probably I'd say 40%. For the 36 kills that's here. You typically want your assists to be higher, so that means that everybody's in on it, everybody gets the additional gold. And one thing that, I do notice is that, Lulu does have, she does have a kill, but she's still kind of high deaths, high assists. And if you can go, 0, 45, and 200, that's going to be one of the best ways to do it as a support. A lot of people will, with the support, they'll scream at you because, oh, you're just giving kills. If you don't have a kill yourself, you're not really giving up much money. And one thing that the purple team suffered from was just mainly not having a lot of sight. They couldn't catch the purple team out of position, and just the start of the game kind of wound up snowballing. So, but folks, I do hope that you guys enjoyed. Tomorrow, I believe, is going to be the third place match between the two teams. So we should be able to go ahead and stream all that for you tomorrow. It will be at 12 p.m. or noon Mountain Standard Time. So go ahead and tune in tomorrow and have a great day, guys.